Well, it's saying we've got 2 viewers. It's saying we're live, so I think we're all good. So, if you are... Right, that was a really unorganised start to the live stream. I do apologise about that. But if you are watching this, then thank you. Thanks for being here. It seems like it's really far behind. Oh well. Let's just start. So it looks like I'm on my own this time for the Team Bitglen podcast. Nobody's in the Discord live chat with me, so it seems like I'm going lone wolf today. It was a bit last minute notice. I was out. I literally just walked through the door and set up my laptop straight away to do this live stream. So thank you for joining in. Something that I do want to talk about actually, and anyone can jump in and join in. You can either join in with the group conversation in the Telegram link down below to join the Telegram group chat, Team Bitglen, or if you want to take part in actually these podcasts and you actually want to talk to me and maybe chat in these videos, you can actually join the Discord group, which the link to that should be in the description down below as well. I've included that just below the Telegram one, and you can actually join this live chat, and we can have a conversation live on YouTube if you wish. Some people I know don't like that. They'd rather hide, a bit more behind text and stuff. So hopefully I'm giving you a wide spectrum of ways of communicating with me and the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, all Team Bitglen, or no, just Bitglen actually. And I think that's all covered. Don't forget to give this video a like, and also don't forget to click the subscribe button if you're new to this channel. Right, that's enough plugging. Jesus. Glenn, why'd you do it? I don't know. Why do I do it? I shouldn't do it. Anyway, so if I'm going to go lone wolf on this, I wanted to discuss a couple of topics today. I sort of touched on my video, if you haven't seen it already, about can crypto influencers do better, which I think they can, and hopefully this space matures. So hopefully I can join that wave of maturity as well. I'm up to 1,459 subscribers, so it'd be awesome if we can break past the 1,500 barrier. So please click that subscribe button if you're new to this channel. There's no shilling, no scams that go on this channel, and it's just my honest opinion of what I learned in the world of cryptocurrency and investing, it seems, lately. I literally just had about an hour-long conversation, I think even longer actually, it might be a 2-hour-long conversation, with someone regarding investing into gold, and this is something that I wanted to chat with you guys and get some of your opinions on. So a lot of people in the cryptocurrency space are investing, one, because they're just hoping the price of Bitcoin goes up and that they can cash it in for a higher price later, and some people are actually investing in Bitcoin because they see it as a hedge against the fiat system as it stands. And I would say I'm sort of in the camp of holding Bitcoin in case the fiat system collapses. To me, unless Bitcoin does just go on a massive bull run again, just erratically like another bubble, I don't believe in just completely just holding on to Bitcoin no matter what. You'd be an idiot if you bought Bitcoin, even if you bought Bitcoin at $50, let's say, and it went all the way up to 20,000. King of Crypto says, "What did I miss?" Lots. You missed so much in the last 2 minutes. It's insane. But thank you for joining anyway. So a lot of people are hedging against, even if you bought Bitcoin at $50, wouldn't it be nice to have said, yeah, but I sold that at around $17,000, $18,000, $19,000, and then you bought back in when it was at $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 just recently. You would have increased the amount of Bitcoin. So I am becoming a Bitcoin maximalist in the sense that I'm struggling to find any use case for any of these altcoins at the moment. But then on the flip side of that, if I bought Bitcoin today and it went up to $100,000, I would sell at that price and then just literally sit back and wait. And even if it went all the way up to 250,000, if it then crashed down 60% or 40% or whatever, I'd buy back in at that point, and then I would have accumulated less Bitcoin, but I would rather that than hold no Bitcoin at all. So that's the camp that I'm in. What's something that got brought to my attention? David Howard says, hi Glenn, what do you think is behind the Bitcoin drop? Well, at the moment, we're in a descending triangle according to all the YouTubers and technical analysis out there. So they're saying that obviously we're bouncing off of the resistance levels, and you know it's looking like it's going to drop dramatically, which apparently usage and people investing in is dropping off as well. So there's less people buying Bitcoin at the moment, a lot less people trading it, at least anyway. But something that's more interesting to me is that I've noticed that altcoins have done all right recently, even though Bitcoin sort of stagnated. I checked it the other day. This was just an observation. I've got no technical analysis. But I noticed a lot of the altcoins were up 2-3% against Bitcoin. And I checked it just a little while ago because Bitcoin went down to 10,400. And a lot of the altcoins again are up. Oh, there was one down here. I remember there was a coin that I was looking to buy some of about a year ago, which was Bitcoin. I don't know if you guys remember Bitcoin. Oh, it's gone up since the last time I checked. And it's literally that's as close to dead as you want to. Surely it's 0.00000000005 of Bitcoin. That's what is that worth? Let's have a look. I thought surely that's dead, isn't it? That coin, if it's worth that much. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Apparently it's worth. I can't even work that out. That's so we've got 10p, 1p. That'd be half a p. So it's half a pence. Or a cent, sorry. So anyway, that's one that I pointed out. That's one that I noticed the other day. I thought, fucking hell, that's surely. At what point? Someone brought up, I think it was Russell, last week in the podcast. He said that there's still 2,600 coins on Coin Market Cap. Well, I was wondering, at what point do they just remove them? Like, say, like these coins that are worth nothing, like literally zero. At what point do they say, okay, right, we'll take all those off? Do they do that, or do they just keep it on there? Does it just go to? They seem to mark it as like a question mark. And let's have a look. Let's go right to the bottom. I mean, this will take a little while to load up, probably. But yeah, I was thinking, like, when do they take them off? Because a lot of these are just dead, aren't they? Like this, look. Endersit. That's worth nothing. Peanuts. And these are not even worth like 1% of 1 cent. It's mental. Why don't they just get rid of them? Just delete them. Anyway. What do I know? What do I know? King of Crypto says the drop was from someone selling Bitcoin. That is probably the best technical analysis you're going to hear. Most honest, anyway. Yeah, so what I wanted to sort of touch on today is getting back to where I was talking about what camp I'm in. So now we know what camp I'm in, right? I will sell Bitcoin if it has a sudden rise, if I think this is what do they call it? Unsustainable. The rapid growth of Bitcoin just because of FOMO and stuff like that. That's to me now, that's a very obvious thing. If I saw that happening again, I would wait until I felt, okay, this is a high enough amount. I can't see it ending here, going up much more. So I would just probably cash out, sit back, wait for another drop. I'm even in two minds at the moment to whether to wait for Tether to eventually collapse and then buy back into Bitcoin then, because that would really significantly drop the price of Bitcoin. Anyway, that's probably another topic for another day. What I was wondering, now that you know what camp I'm in, sorry, going back to my story for the third time, I was watching something about gold the other day, and they were saying, yeah, the price of gold could go to 2,000, 3,000 pounds per whatever it is ounce. And they were saying, well, do you even want to see that? Let's say you're holding gold. Do you want to see the world as it stands where gold goes up that much in value? Because typically gold has been a hedge against recessions. Now, if you get a massive amount of influx of money going into gold, that normally signs that something bad's going to happen going forward. If the price of gold went up so much, you would imagine that something really, really bad's going to happen, or it is happening. So you can have these hedges against things, and people say things like Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million. For Bitcoin to go to $1 million, it needs probably one of two things to happen. One, mass adoption. Mass adoption in a way where I can use it day in, day out. I can borrow money against it. I can earn interest against it. All the financial services that are available for fiat now to be implemented with Bitcoin. And that would be awesome if that was the reason why Bitcoin rapidly went up. I would love that reason, because then I'd be like, see, told you this was the future of money. And I think that's what a lot of us would feel. The other thing that could happen is that Bitcoin becomes a hedge against the current fiat and monetary systems. Now, if Bitcoin went up to a massive rally up to, say, $1 million, you could think, yes, my Bitcoin's worth $1 million. I bought it at 10k, 9k, whatever. But you have to ask yourself, do you want to see that world? Because you're talking about a world where money is just decreasing in value so fast, that obviously that would give rise to something. If you see what I mean, you could cash that Bitcoin out for $1 million, but then that $1 million isn't worth jack shit, because there'd be hyperinflation, there'd be civil war, there'd be unrest everywhere. Everyone would start trashing the place. The people would have to start going loitering for food and drugs and money and stuff, guns and stuff like that. So that's the type of world that you're talking about when you're saying Bitcoin going up just unexpectedly with no sort of real utility, going up in value. So someone said that about gold the other day, and I thought that's a really good point, actually. Julian Dantec says you just need to look at credits. 50k CS to run a node, and it's only 0.11, but it was 0.0453 3 weeks ago. They have partnerships with IBM and Lenovo. I don't know why my camera keeps doing this every now and then. There we go, I'm back. Yeah, I mean, I was actually wondering if I see a trend continuing where these altcoins, and I assume they're not at the moment. I don't know why they are, like why it appears that way, but if they start doing well against Bitcoin, could that signal a new start of another alt cycle, if you like, an alt season? I hope not. I would like to see Bitcoin dominance get higher, but hey, what do I know? This space seems to be for people that want to day trade and make money against other people. But I am opening my mind to earning money from Bitcoin, using Bitcoin. So I'm currently looking at systems like, I was looking up Compound, I think it is .io? I was on their website. No, that's not it. Let's type in Compound Crypto. Is it Compound Finance? Yeah, I think this is the one. Yeah, this is it. So you can earn money off of your cryptocurrencies. So depending on whether you hold altcoins or Bitcoin and other things, you can see here a list of different services they offer, different wallets that they can attach themselves to. And you can even buy their token. Also, I was looking at who are the other ones? Obviously, Nexo. They're offering sort of daily interest if you store stable coins with them. The reason for that, I assume, is you're staking the stable coins, so they've got dollars worth of money to lend people because people are borrowing money against the Bitcoin. Then people are paying 8% interest on that Bitcoin, so they're offering the people that stake their US dollar equivalent currencies or British pounds or euros, so they can loan that out, and then therefore you're getting 8% back, but you can cash out whenever you want. Awesome. There's also Compound. Who was the other one? MTO are doing something similar. Oh, what was that wallet? Monarchy, is it? The Monarch wallet. I downloaded it for iOS and also on my desktop. Apparently it's not, you can't earn money or invest money using in the UK. It's not in my region, so but this may be useful to you in America. But yeah, they're offering rewards, and you can just store the cryptocurrency in your wallet and it earns interest, and you can cash out and buy, and you can also trade them against other coins and stuff like that. So that all seems really good. So the more of these that come out and are available and actually work, the better, I think, for the space, because they're offering money in a different way. If I put my money in a bank at the moment, I earn something like 0.25 interest or 0.5% interest in the UK, something like that. These are offering things like 15%, 16% return on your money. Now that's obviously APR over the year. You then divide that figure by 365 days, and that is what you're going to end up with. So just to give you an example, if you invest $1,000 or pounds, and you're in something where it gives you 10 or 9% APR over the year, but let's do 10% because that'd be easier. So you would earn over the year $100, so you'd have $1,100, but you would divide that over 365 because you can cash out whenever you want. So if you put that £1,000 in and left it in there for, say, I don't know, 5 days, you would end up with, I don't know, something like 36 cents a day. But that's compounding. So the next day you would get slightly more because now you're earning interest on 1,036 cents. You now get that go up to 1,070 cents, and it would go up and up and up and up and up and up. So eventually by the end of the year that may be worth a lot more. So I think these are really awesome services. It's just which one to trust. That's the question. Some of these, I mean, this website here, it looks pretty fancy on the website. There's literally tons of infographics and diagrams and shit like that, but does that make me trust them? Probably makes me trust them a little bit less, to be honest. They're actually following their roadmap that they set out, so that's something that does make me think, yeah, okay, they've got a really cool way of showing their team actually in these little infographics. So yeah, they seem pretty cool, but there seems to be loads of them. I think Wirex offers something as well in the UK. Nexo is going to start paying 8% on Paxo Gold. What's Paxo Gold? I haven't seen that one yet. Let's see if we can find it on here. Paxo standard token. Oh, is this another stable coin? Is it rank 33? I think Nexo are offering 8% on all the stable coins that you deposit on there at the moment, didn't they? Let's have a look. See, when they start offering interest on, it says Bitcoin soon, Ethereum, XRP, that's going to kill it, because you're going to be able to store your Bitcoin and earn interest on your Bitcoin. That's, to me, that's awesome. I can't wait for that to happen. And then with this Nexo, so this might be me being greedy, guys. So this is the combination of things that I'm looking at the moment. What if I was to say put 10 grand into Nexo, and then...
So, Glenn, can you hear me?
Hey, there he is.
Hey, the Nexo Gold is a gold-backed coin, right? So
Hang on, let me turn the volume up a second. Go on, PJ.
So the Paxo Gold is a gold-backed coin. So you can buy an ounce of gold or a portion of it. So it's a gold coin that they just released. I think it was last week. So you buy this coin. It's physically backed by gold, so you can redeem the gold if you want.
Right.
But that Paxo Gold, you're buying gold essentially, but it's on the blockchain. So then you could put it on Nexo and collect dividends on it by 8%. So
Nice.
That's what I was putting in on the...
I typed in Paxo into Google, and it's come up with Paxo sage and onion stuffing. That's the stuffing we use in the UK. Paxo, what is it? Paxo
also
Gold?
A stable coin, but they're just doing this gold thing. I thought it was interesting because it's a neat way to buy gold. And then they also have
Pax Gold launch promotion. Get up to 20,000 cash back when you buy Pax Gold today.
Yeah, so if you buy you can also use it and buy bullion with it too. They're hooked up with the Paxo Gold coin. You can use it and redeem it for bullion. You can redeem it for coins, everything. So it's kind of an interesting concept, So it's like...
this is like a mixing. Obviously, I said last couple of weeks I'm looking at investing in gold and Bitcoin, but this is mixing the two together.
Yeah, but check this out. So if you buy regular gold, you can't collect dividends off of gold. You know what I'm saying? You can buy an ETF and you can buy physical gold, but you can't get any type of dividend off of it. But with Nexo, now you can collect 8% on the dividend. So instead of just holding physical gold, you might as well buy the token that's backed by gold, put it on Nexo, and then you're collecting 8% if you're going to buy physical gold anyways. Yeah. And then you get 8% on your money too.
So if there's a massive recession crash, you've got the gold there to back you up, but while you're sitting there waiting for that day to happen, you're earning 8%.
Not even on a massive... Okay, forget about the recession part of it. Just think about if you're just buying gold to accumulate gold just to keep in your portfolio, Because gold doesn't increase in value too often, but if you're collecting 8% on it, then you're doing well. Like gold's... I was watching this guy, he was saying that the shorts are coming in on gold, so they're trying to drive the price down right now. Mm-hmm. So it looks like gold's going to go back down to $1,425, $1,400 or something like that. From it's already started dropping, so it's at $1,505 right now on the ounce in USD. So if you buy in and get it at that $1,400 or $1,425 price point, and then you collect an 8% on it, and it's compounding, and you're using this Paxo Gold, you can make a killing over the years. If you're just keeping it in your portfolio anyways. So it's what's the point of holding physical gold when you could hold this token? And then if you ever want to redeem the physical gold, you can go on there and actually get the coin or the bullion. So I thought that was interesting for anybody who's interested in buying gold.
Just a side note, PJ, where I've been checking the price of gold and silver for the last couple of weeks now on this website called bullionbuypost.co.uk, and it's got a lot of data here that's really easy to click on. I've got it up on display now, and I was looking at it and I was thinking, how comes it's got these days where it's just flatlining in price? And I couldn't quite figure it out. And then when I was looking at the actual dates, I was like, oh, that's a Saturday and Sunday. And I thought, why would it not go up and down? Because I've been so used to cryptocurrency where it's open 24/7. I was like, oh yeah, shit, you can't buy like stocks and shares worth of gold on weekends. I thought, how primitive.
Yeah, you get used to the crypto world, right? And then you
Yeah,
forget that
it
it's all
threw me off. I
markets.
thought, oh, this can't be right. Why has it flatlined for like 3 days straight? But then I thought, oh yeah, it's fucking weekend. Like how old school. But
That's
yeah,
why eventually everything will be tokenized. You know what I'm saying? Like all stocks will become tokenized and run 24 hours a day because that's so stupid that, you know what I mean, that you got to work within these time frames. It's dumb. I mean,
yeah,
I think that's the main reason why people get so addicted to Bitcoin is because the whole 24-hour thing,
yeah.
it
It's
never
just it's
stops.
there all the time, isn't it?
To
PJ, what?
me,
Tell me what you think about this strategy, right? And I obviously you sort of opened a can of worms for me by mentioning it the other week, but I was actually watching one of Chico Crypto's videos, and he was talking about using these DeFi systems, yeah.
yeah, I
And
don't use them.
he was talking about, I think he was saying, it might have been Compound actually, but I think one of them, they're offering on a stable coin called, is it DAO?
The die.
DAI, that's it,
The,
sorry.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
DAI, they're offering, I think it's about 15 or 16%.
Yeah, but their rates fluctuate so much. Like once you start watching, see, they just prop it up and then they drop it and then they put it back up. So it's constantly up and down. But
Oh, okay, so it's not as steady.
yeah, plus
See,
the
what I was
I
thinking is, what if you was to buy, say, Bitcoin on Nexo. You then obviously cash out, say, half of it as a loan, but then obviously you're paying 8% interest. But then you use that 50% to buy this die. You put that on compound, and then you're actually earning more interest than you're paying. So you're actually up, and you own more Bitcoin than you could have afforded in the first place. So you're up both
it,
ways.
you could do that. You could also buy like that. I've been watching that Nexo token. So if you catch it at 6 cents and start buying it at 6, and then start accumulating it, you're going to get 30% on it because they're paying dividends on it. So I think that's a great idea if you want to use that whole DeFi system or the DAI, whatever it's called.
What you're
That's a great
talking
idea.
about buying Nexo the token?
Yeah, I really been considering it because performance isn't it's not horrible. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I
it
think
seems
if
to
you
be
get in,
quite consistent. At one point, it was up to say 17 cent, but steadily it's been
like
around 7 8.
think about this. Think about okay, look, me and you've been around this for a while now, and you came in when 2017 hit.
Yeah,
There
and
was no
you look at
lending
these and they're
platforms.
normally pump and dumps, isn't they? There's ups and downs all over
Well,
the place.
think about this, Glenn. When we were in this in 2017, going through that bull market, right? You had no way to get the cash out unless if you sold your Bitcoin. You know what I mean? And nobody wanted to do that. But now these lending platforms are here. So I think the two that are going to be huge are going to be this Nexo and Crypto.com. They're already starting to play away, and so is Celsius. So I think between those three, those are going to be the lending
Yeah,
platforms
see,
that.
oh, that's the other one. Oh, I was thinking of the name before you joined in. Of other, yeah, Celsius seems to be quite a popular one that comes up online. I was looking up like best interest earning crypto
Yeah.
websites, and Celsius actually came up as one of the more steadier ones. But
Well,
yeah, when we actually look at the top 100 cryptos, you realize how many because that crypto.com, the actual coin that runs their sort of back end systems,
yeah.
is I think 20. Oh, it's 27th at the moment.
It's fucking killing it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right up there. You've got
crazy.
Nexo at 90 something, I believe. You've got because there's another token that they have, which is
Well,
that NTO.
Binance. I think Binance is also coming out with all these lending stuff too.
Yeah, Binance are starting to do a lending. So yeah, lending tokens.
Lending is where it's at. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because that's going to be a thing, dude. If Bitcoin goes and breaks all-time highs, what are people going to do? They're going to want to get money out of it. They're going to go onto these platforms and start using these tokens. So I could see these things skyrocketing, and like other lending platforms that were around in 2017 are complete junk. Like you look at Salt, that one is just garbage. You know what I mean? And BlockFi or whatever it is, You can only get with them, and they don't
BlockFi,
even
yeah, that's
offer.
another one that came up as one of the better ones to
But they
earn
don't even
interest off of.
offer anything unless if you're putting 1 Bitcoin or 2 Bitcoin on there. So a lot of people, let's just keep it real, most people in the crypto space don't have thousands of Bitcoin. They're dealing with a percentage of a Bitcoin.
I
So
mean,
these
that's almost dead, isn't it? Like I'm looking at the graph now, it's pretty much flatline. It's pretty much just flatlining above zero. Um,
the salt
yeah, it's like 12 cent. It was up to
is
16. It was $17 at one point.
oh yeah, I mean yeah, but nobody's using everybody that's using this platform here is you know they're they have just stupid requirements. You know what I mean? Like they want you to take out a loan for $1 million or something. You know, so they're trying to do high end lending, but these micro platforms that are lending like $500 to people, these are the people that are trying to get the money out. You know what I mean? Because
Oh, I tell
it's
you what, Nexo's gone from 90. It was 99, I think, when I looked into it a couple of weeks ago. It's now 85. I know that doesn't mean much in the world of crypto, but with the price being quite steady, actually, it shows that
that's
there
what I'm
is.
saying.
Yeah.
And they're paying out like 30% on the dividends, so you can gather more coin with them. And then at the same time, you're reducing the fees on the loans. And then if you repay the loan with Nexo, you also reduce the fees. So there's quite like an incentive for people to buy these tokens. If you're constantly using them, it'd be worth to house them and then collect the dividends on them. And they're paying out real good dividends on them. So it's like you can make a killing off of this thing. And then let's just say once this bull market, if it does kick in and we do break that 19K, these tokens will go to the moon because people are going to pull loans against them and look to reduce the interest on, like, let's just say you pull a loan for 10 grand and it's only going to take you a couple $1,000s in these tokens. So to reduce your overall interest on 10 grand, so it'd be worth staking, you know what I mean?
Mm.
To keep the interest super low. And it's like the incentive is so there. And you can already see it within the token that it's already starting to act as a medium for that. So
Mm.
I think that's why they're so attractive. And all these other platforms are doing the same thing. You look at Celsius token and then you look at crypto token, and you can compare the what's going in and coming out and things. And it's like they're holding value because of that. So I think it's interesting, you know. And I think once Bitcoin goes up and people really start looking into the space and more people come in, a lot of people will start using these platforms. You
I
know?
suppose if you look at Bitcoin as an overarching story,
Yeah.
obviously people were saying, like, and I said it myself, like, well, yeah, if you buy Bitcoin, how can you loan it? How can you earn interest off it? It's not like fiat money. We have systems where we can borrow and lend to each other, but how are you going to do that? Are you going to loan someone your private keys, and then they have to pay you back with interest and all that? And yeah, it sounds really silly, but like now when you think about all
The
these
problems with
blockchains,
selling.
like people saying, oh yeah, fucking cars registered are going to be on the blockchain, and then you can track any service that the cars had and all that sort of stuff with like VeChain or whatever, whatever, like thinking of
Yeah.
all these weird ways. But actually the focus should be on, okay, how can we make Bitcoin a real usable sustainable money? And yeah, these platforms, since
They're
obviously
doing
it's so
it.
that since they've opened my eyes, I'm like, yeah, this is just the natural, surely, evolution of. So
Exactly.
you've got your
This
Bitcoin. How do we start using it to mortgage a house? How do you use it to get a loan to start up a business? Because then people will, like you've just said. I was watching a video the other day, and a guy was saying, never buy gold, never ever buy gold. You don't earn no dividends off it. You can't. You have to pay vault fees. So if anything, it costs you money a month, and blah 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 blah. But if you, and it's the same with Bitcoin, if you like, but if you
but
can
you have
borrow
to
money against it, earn interest against it, all of a sudden it becomes a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you hold on to Bitcoin even if it's going down in value? If you're earning 8% interest, fuck it.
And now that they tokenized gold too with this Paxo Gold, I was like, man, I'm gonna start buying the hell out of gold through the Paxo Gold because I can get the dividends on it. I can still redeem the physical gold, but I'm holding a token on the blockchain that I can transact with 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And Binance is adding this Paxo Gold to their exchange. Nexo is going to have it on the lending platform. You can go to a website and actually buy physical gold with it. So I was like, the whole ecosystem for this gold coin is there. I was like, oh my God, I have a gold money account through Peter Schiff's company. You know who Peter Schiff is, right?
Yeah. So what you mean the goldmoney.com?
Yeah, I got that. So I
Yeah.
signed up with that a few months ago. That shit's a joke. It's literally a joke. You try to buy gold off of it, it's a process. You got to wire transfer your money over there. You got to wait.
Well, I'm
for
in the
it to-
process. I've created an account with them, and it said I have to
Oh
be
my God.
verified, and I haven't heard anything. But that was about a week ago.
That's what I'm saying. Wait till you go to start purchasing gold from them. It's even worse. It's like, holy shit, it literally takes almost a month to start purchasing gold.
Really?
I was like, this is just stupid. And then this Paxo came out, and I was able to start purchasing within a day. I was like, and it's all instant because it's all over the blockchain, so it's all instant. I was like, man, this is the greatest thing. I think this Paxo gold is going to take off because I mean it's just so much smarter to use it as compared to buying gold on these other sites. I mean it's just bam, you're right there, you're done, and you store it in a wallet. You can do whatever with it, you know.
So it
And
says Pax Gold is a digital asset where one token is backed by one fine troy ounce of 400-ounce London good delivery gold bar stored in Brink's gold vaults. Anyone who owns a Pax G owns a underlying physical gold held in custody by Paxo Trust Company. So this is where you have to decide whether you trust this company or not, I suppose. But
well, you can go right there and look up too. You can look up your number and everything to make sure that they're audited. They're actually audited. It's not trusting them. They're actually audited by the New York, I believe, is who they're through. They have to go through. So they're actually being audited by them. So there is a whole auditing system in place. Everything is in place for.
Apparently, it says here that he was slagging off that salt, saying it was a piece of garbage, but that is one of their gold ecosystems. They've got Nexo, Salt, Bullion Exchanges, Itbit, Genesis, Intel FC, Stone, and Brinks.
Yeah, I mean, they got a whole entire little ecosystem there. And if you go down and you can click on them, it'll take you to their website. So I started looking on the websites at where you can buy the gold from. So this Bullion Exchange, you can buy physical gold from them. Salt will lend to you, and then this Itbit is actual their exchange. So they have a couple of coins on there that you can exchange with this. I mean, they got like ETH and Bitcoin and all that. So they got a few coins on there that you can exchange, or you can go into. They're also a they have that Paxo stable coin, so it's also a stable coin. So I thought that was really interesting. I think this is the wave of the future for gold, is these tokenize it, you know, because I mean, you just can't, regular gold can't compete with it. I mean, eventually this will catch, you know. Anybody who's a gold bug will end up on this platform. Peter Bandit, or Brandit, whatever his name is, he's a technical analysis guy. He's quite known in this community. He's the one that I seen this. He's the one that tweeted it out. So I took a look at it because he's a gold guy also. So I thought it was interesting.
Okay.
Something different to look into, you know.
Is this like an ICO that they're starting then, or something, or?
No, it's up and running. I literally bought gold through them. I own a couple tokens now, so I've started using them. And Paxo's been around forever, for a few years now. So the actual Paxo stablecoin's been around, but this is an actual product. It's live. You can buy it
What,
now.
the Paxo standard token, PAX?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you sign up for an account, Glenn, you're able to buy gold. I mean, as soon as you sign in, all you got to do is transfer either Paxo, the stablecoin, over, or you can wire in USD, either or. They got Bitcoin on there you can exchange. You know, they got you can use the exchange into Bitcoin into Paxo, and then use your Paxo to buy it. So you can actually buy physical gold through this site. So I thought it was interesting, but Nexo hasn't added them onto their list of coins yet. So, but the other day I seen Nexo's going to do it here in the next few weeks. They're setting it up and getting it ready, so eventually they're going to have it on there. Then you could put that coin into Nexo and then collect the 8% on that coin. So I thought that was interesting, that you can collect interest on gold, you know, collect basically a dividend on gold. And you can't do that anywhere else. You know, there's no other way to collect dividends on gold, on physical gold. So I thought this has got to be enticing for anybody in gold. I was like, man, that's 8% you're collecting on gold. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was too. I was like, oh man, it's gonna be this whole crypto space, man, is taking over. It went from Plan B, I think Plan A was the stock market. Now Plan B for our generation is going to be crypto complete. I mean, everything's tokenizing now. You've seen that Apple. I keep seeing all the YouTubers talking about Apple's getting into cryptocurrencies and says there's a future there. So it's like
Well, everyone seems to be jumping in on the bandwagon of either the word blockchain or cryptocurrency at some point or another, even countries. So yeah, it's definitely an exciting place to be. It's just knowing what the scams are and which ones are going to be about. You have to be really on top of it, I suppose, because let's just say Nexo was closing down for some reason, whether it's regulation or whether it's they're doing a scam or a cash grab or whatever. As long as you're quick enough to be able to withdraw it or get it back into your wallet, then you'll be alright. But obviously for some people who only check it once every now and then, that's like you have to have a lot of faith and trust in these companies and what they say.
I think it's going to be hard these lending platforms won't be able to exit scam because they're actually backed by companies. Like, what I'm saying? BitGo is an established company, is a custody. So you could go after BitGo, you know what I mean, if it comes down to it. And then, like, they're also backed by Lloyd's. So it's not just that, oh, yeah, hey, they can make an exit scam. I mean, it would be a hell of a process for them to exit scam out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not even, but like if you look at cryptocurrency as a whole, I mean, like
Let's just say that
there's so much garbage out there. There's just so much, and that's sort of like the Bitcoin bull in me saying, don't invest, just buy Bitcoin, and just hold on to it. But then on the other side, like you say, you don't want dead money.
I don't think it'd be as easy as what Indian did. In other words,
yeah. Did you watch my video the other day about like obviously YouTubers and influencers doing a better job? I felt like I was reading something the other day, and it was saying about stocks and shares. Like a lot of people can invest into something, and it never takes off. Like it just never ever succeeds. And
stocks and shares are huge.
And they were saying that even in the sort of ground level, you watch Dragon's Den and stuff like that. When you're an investor, you say, okay, I want 30% of your business. I'll lend you 50 grand. But if you've got 30% of nothing, it's still nothing, isn't it? So there's risks everywhere. These mega rich people, they might invest in 100 companies and 2 of them take off. And obviously for me, like I've come into this space thinking, right, okay, where's it at? Right, mining. And that's the route. I was like tunnel vision, like, yeah, it's just mining, yeah. And obviously I went not all in, but like, I only invested what I was willing to lose, which I think was about £400 to £600. So, even though MVN crashed, I weren't like, oh god, I've lost everything. But I appreciate some people did. Like a lot of people in the Telegram group chat, they were like, oh, I've put 20 grand into this. And I'm like, what? And when I started reading the articles about them coming out and saying, oh yeah, the CEO's left and all that, I was like, right, everyone sell your coins, sell your tokens. I don't like this. Just buy back in at another date if they really start to take off. And a lot of people didn't listen. But then obviously on the back end of that, a lot of people say days later they don't watch me saying that, and then they just see, oh, Glenn, you were promoting MVN, and they've exited scam, so that must mean you're part of it somehow. And I do have to be careful what I say. I feel like even if I truly honestly believed in a platform now, I have to be so sure. Like I have to use it, contact them, actually sort of invest my own money into it, even before I start talking about it in a positive way on YouTube. Hello. But that's my thoughts on it anyway. I have to try things out. PJ, what do you think about these altcoins outperforming Bitcoin the last couple of days for some unknown reason?
I don't think that they've outperformed Bitcoin whatsoever. Because if you do the comparison, they've been down for months. They might go up 10%, but they're still down 200%. So it's not
Oh yeah,
outperforming.
well yeah. I just mean based on the last couple of days. Like if we look at Bitcoin now, and I'm looking at it in Bitcoin value terms. Some of
Yeah,
these are up, 2%, 2%, 1%,
yeah, but
4%.
if you're holding a bag of them, you're still down
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I'm talking.
90%, so it really doesn't matter. You know
Nah.
what I mean? Like, oh yeah, now you only got to go 80 more percent. Good job. So
um,
it's like, who cares? Unless you're a trader and you're day trading, hey, this is great. Like EOS is down from like $6 to $3, or from $8 to $3. Went up 20%. Okay, kudos to EOS, but you're still down another $4 if you bought it recently.
I think the
So
worst one, the worst performing one was
oh,
XRP. It's still down something like
yeah, that shit's garbage, isn't it?
82% from its all-time high. But then it did have that random couple of weeks where it was worth like
Listen,
$2.
XRP, that whole Ripple thing is just getting shit on by their
Yeah.
own company. Ripple's just shitting on them. You know what I mean? Oh, 26 million transferred to one of the ex-employees. He's dumping that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's no hope for any of these things, man. It's like, okay, I can care less if they go up
Okay, all right.
tomorrow.
So,
You know,
PJ, this is an
it's
interesting question, right? If you had to rank, if let's say you could pick up a coin and plonk it in any position you want, what would be your top five on Coin Market Cap?
so I go with that. Paxos Gold as number 3, Litecoin as number 4, Bitcoin as 1, and
So you got one,
Tether is,
three,
and number
four.
and number 2 would be Tether.
Tether.
Yeah, because you got to have a stable coin. Without Tether, how is Bitcoin going to pump? See, everybody's always talking bad about Tether, but Bitcoin ain't going to 100,000 without Tether. Hate to tell it to you guys, but ain't happening.
Yeah, but what about
Imagine pipe dreams of Tether not being around, boy. You
mate?
ain't getting
I've got a
$100,000 Bitcoin
feeling.
without them.
I've got a feeling that Tether is gonna implode at some point, and
I don't think so. I
and
don't
I
think they
think
are
it's
because
going to drag a lot of these cryptos down with it. Actually, most of them, and there'll be a good consolidation period for a long period of time where people will just lose interest because the price of Bitcoin went up because obviously FOMO and stuff like that, and then obviously it's come down, and I think some people could take that. But if there was a scam reason why all of a sudden Bitcoin lost 80% of its value, which I know has happened several times in the past, but I think then we would be in for a period of long consolidation where it would be at a lower price than it is now.
I think what's going to end up happening, and I think honestly, here's what I believe is that this back is going to become such a custody and such a big player. It's going to play Tether out, though. I think Tether will come less dominant. Well, Bitfinex seems to be a pretty significant trading platform, so it's like I think back's going to take a lot of volume to it. So I think as this time goes on, Bitcoin will become so exposed to so much money, there won't be one key entity anymore manipulating it like Tether. It'll become backed, and then it'll become Tether, and another player will join the game, and we'll have a mass amount of manipulation amongst everything. Think about Binance is becoming the same thing as Tether, whether people like it or not. Eventually, Binance is going to start manipulating the hell out of it. They're made a BUSD stablecoin, so they're going to start manipulating the price also.
But you would honestly put that as your number two cryptocurrency. You'd put that
Yeah.
above.
Well, so yes. What other coin you gonna put in there? I mean, realistically.
Well, yeah, I
Um,
mean, you're bigging up Nexo and Crypto.com and Cellulose and stuff like that.
Those would be within my top 10. I mean, Monero would be also within the top 10.
I was literally just looking at. I don't know if it's because my cursor was on the screen. I was literally looking. Yeah, what about Monero? I was about to say.
Yeah, I mean, but other than that, I'm not going to go with any of these other coins. I mean, all of them, just look at the performance. If you're invested into any of these altcoins, you're just stupid. You know what I mean? Just
Mate, what do you think about Cardano?
I think it's all shit. There is no use case, literally. And
I don't know if you saw my video the other day, and I was talking about there was a video that, and I don't watch him that often, but
just pull up their charts. I don't care about any of these things. None of them are being used for anything. I mean, none of them have utility. And I only say, like, the only reason why I think Monero is a good coin is because it's privacy driven, and it's the only one that sticks to privacy. You know what I mean? Like Cardano, yeah, it might be a great project. It might have all these people behind them, whatever. But at the end of the day, nobody is using this shit. There's not a single cryptocurrency being used. There's not a single cryptocurrency being adopted. All of these systems, all of these lending platforms, everything that is being the ecosystem or is becoming an ecosystem is all being built on around Bitcoin.
I clicked on this video the other day with a YouTuber called Crypto Love. I've seen these videos over the last couple of years, and he seems like a really nice guy on that. But he's done a video of how much Cardano should you hold to be a millionaire realistically. And he goes through in this video saying, I think you should hold $4,400 worth of Cardano. That will make you a millionaire.
Here's reality. Okay, you might not like this, you might like it, whatever. I don't really care about people's feelings, but here's the bottom line. When there's an alt season, these coins aren't pumping because they have utility. They're not pumping because they're popular. They're not going to pump because they're worth shit. They're only pumping because whales are going to pump them to get more Bitcoin, and they're just pumping these coins to make more money. That's it. All these coins are shit. They've literally proven that. You can just look at how they're devalued over the course of 2 years from when they all peaked, and none of them are even worth anything now. And it's like the only reason why they'll go up in value is because there's going to be some whales who want to make some money, and then they're going to pump them up. That's it. That's all that these coins are good for, is for pumping those. Every single one of them. You can go down the list. Litecoin seems to be the only one that competes with Bitcoin. For whatever reason, it goes down, but it's actually came back up. You have Binance Coin, which is doing well. And I mean, there's like a handful of them, maybe 4 that actually have real utility. Chainlink, Binance, you got Bitcoin, and Litecoin, it seems like, but I just don't see any use case for like Cardano, EOS, any of them. Stellar, Tron, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything wants to claim something, but it's all the same crap, and I think people are wiser now to all of this.
I think like this altcoin season sell-off and this obviously back to very high dominance of Bitcoin has shown that people believe and have trust in Bitcoin. So therefore, to me, the only logical future, if you're looking to invest in stuff other than Bitcoin, is things that help progress Bitcoin along.
Yep.
You know?
I mean, I'll invest in all of these, every single one of these coins once the all season comes around and it can make me more Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what they do. I will stick thousands of dollars into any coin that pumps 200%.
Have we got someone else in the live chat as well? Who's that? I can hear. Hey.
Yeah, Travis is there.
How you doing, Travis?
Not bad.
Good, mate. How you been? I haven't spoken to you for ages.
Yeah, it's been a while. We're always out in a different time, I guess.
What are you mostly looking into these days in the world of crypto?
Mostly Bitcoin, Litecoin, Monero. The same. Doge.
Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Monero, and Doge.
Just because it's combined with Litecoin, so,
Yeah, Doge is another one that just randomly pumps out of nowhere. It just goes up 100% overnight. Like, it's crazy.
But I think we'll have a big increase in trust in Bitcoin whenever people realize that they can't trust centralized systems. Like when the stock market crashes and people lose faith in it, I think that'll happen at some point.
Well, eventually, okay, see, with capitalism, it's like what me and you were talking about the other day, Travis. With capitalism, eventually it's going to be 5 dudes just sitting around the table with all the money in the world. You know, it's like eventually that shit's going to go away, you know. And then what's your alternative? Plan B, which is cryptocurrency, you know.
And then also with augmented reality, we're either going to have to choose is it centralized or decentralized? Because if, let's say you do something, you alter this this augmented reality in a way that maybe you pay for or you work at, you maybe in this augmented reality you can come up to a sign and do like art for it on it, and then someone comes by and says I don't like that, and they can delete it because of a centralized, you know, network. But if it's decentralized, everyone will verify that everything's the same regardless of who you are. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching something the other day, and they were talking about. I think it was the XRP story that Chico Crypto done, and he was talking about how XRP originally stated that they could never have the ability to freeze someone's account, but then this guy who's dumping on all the XRP that he owns like billions of or something, they freeze his account. So like, yeah, what you're saying there is right. If you have a centralized, I don't care how they word it, but if you have a centralized point of authority, if someone comes to them and says, look, people are using your thing for criminal activity, if you don't stop them or put something in place, we're going to arrest you under that law breaking, you know, that crime. We're going to tie you to that somehow. They're going to go, right, shit, push the button on the fucking like freeze account, block account, fucking, you know, whatever it may be. So yeah, I think that's always going to happen with that. Whereas obviously with Bitcoin, there's no one to go to. You can't go to any one person and say, right, stop this from happening. You can stop it at the exchange level. You can stop people. You can say to Coinbase, right, we want you to shut down, and I don't want anyone buying it. But for the people that still hold Bitcoin, you know, you've still got it, and all right, the value will probably dramatically drop, but you can still go to someone and go, look, I've got a Bitcoin on this drive. Do you want to buy it off me for $5,000? You give me $5,000, I'll give you the drive. So it's going to become impossible to stop.
Hey Glenn, how much did this Chico Crypto pay you to shield him all day
long? I think he just promised me his hair clippings when he shaves his beard or something.
Oh God.
I think there is.
Miles says Monero is king.
Well, I think there is one thing that it will change, and it will be the way that we earn money when we realize that the centralized system is
the way that people are earning money now is changed. I was just reading an article about this whole thing about how like freelancing is really starting to hurt all industries because people are stepping away from huge cities and getting away from huge cities and getting into the freelancing business and starting to freelance more on things like programming, networking, all sorts of things, you know what I'm saying, around computers. And the way that people are getting paid now, you know, people are moving to more remote cities and then freelancing and also doing remote work. So it's like the whole environment of everything is changed. We're in such a great place right now. The world is changing so dramatically in front of our faces because everything is just evolving differently. It's not go to work for a corporation anymore and work on their time.
Micro corporation.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone has the ability.
You're becoming your own boss. It's neat. It's really neat the times that we're going through to see all this, you know, and it's like all this disruptive technology that's coming out is interesting.
I tell you what I find interesting. Awesome. I was talking to I won't name names, but I was talking to a couple a moment ago, And I was talking to him about earning money on your money, and I couldn't get it through to them. They couldn't understand it. They were like, "Oh, you've lost." They were like, "You've lost me," and I would say I vocalized it in quite a sensible, easy to understand manner. But
no, people are stupid, Glenn.
they were like so entrenched in what they know is like, well, no, you just put it in the bank. You're like, yeah, but what's the bank doing with that? They have a wallet, let's say, like a wallet in the, you know, like simple terms, and they have, right, we've got 5.2 trillion. What we'll do is we'll loan you this much money and we'll earn the 10% interest on it. They're not giving that 8% of it back to the customers. They're keeping all the 10% and giving all the customers a 0.5. Whereas you've got these lending platforms now where they're offering like, oh, you know, we'll loan money against Bitcoin and charge 8% interest. We'll give the customer 8% interest because they're the one putting the stable coins into the system to make us to be able to do it. So it seems like a more fair system. And when you start thinking of it like that, you're like, yeah, actually, well, no, yeah, but it's still better than what the systems are now. And you look at it and you say, well, that's just fair.
Everyone mind. See, this is what I was kind of getting into, was that everyone is going to get a currency, like almost like UBI, but it'll be through verification that they're part of the augmented reality, or because this augmented reality becomes so
it's going to become so lifelike,
intertwined and so real that we'll be serious about it.
Well, we're already seeing that, Travis, with like that Decentraland where you can buy property, build onto it, and then look at the kids' game upside. It's called, where you can go in there and create shops and people buy it in, you know, their currency or whatever within the game, or even World of Warcraft, I think it was, or you know, that game where like you can sell your characters and stuff, you know what I mean, and you can get their coins and then sell that stuff. So it's like, yeah, you totally, with augmented reality, earn a living within it, you know, with a game or something that you're playing. I see what you're saying. And you could open up a digital store inside of a game, sell products within the game or your augmented reality, where people store it in augmented reality.
Imagine how many markets that'll kill. The TV.
Yeah. No, I've thought about this seriously, because I was like, dude, things are going to get crazy.
So many jobs won't be needed at that point.
Well, I mean, I could see it too, because you look at like millennials, they're such minimalist that they really don't care about so much things. They care about life experiences. And I think once the next generation is going to be so iterated with this augmented reality, they will have like so much digital shit inside of shit where you could literally become like an Amazon within a digital world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like how many, you can think about what could be digital.
Like, look at people were paying for crypto kitties. Like, are you kidding me? You want a digital cat? Okay, here you go. You know, and people were paying $100,000 for them at one point. So it's like, that's not going to stop. You know what I mean? It's only going to get worse. Like, you think about it in terms of if you're playing a video game in Call of Duty, you're already spending, let's just say if you're into Call of Duty and you want to buy like your some kind of pack for your gun or whatever, you're going to spend $39 to get the upgraded pack for it. And it's already happening. So it's just a matter of time until people become entrepreneurial about it and go, okay, hey, well, now I'm going to open up a digital shop within this digital land and offer digital goods, and then start selling digital goods within these little realms, you know? So it'll happen eventually. People create jobs and create everything from it. So it'll be interesting to see how that.
You guys are scaring me because you're pretty much describing the Matrix. We're gonna need Neo to come along and fucking free us all.
That's actually the best case scenario. There's even worse. There's a bad scenario.
Think about when robots.
Who's the guy who betrays the humans in the first one? Is it Sirius or no? What's his name? Cyrus.
Oh, you're talking about the dude, the rat.
The bald-haired little beardy.
Yeah.
I just know he's the pirate in the Goonies. He's one of the bad guys in the Goonies.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. I watched The Matrix. They had the 25th anniversary at the cinema few weeks back, and I went and watched that, and I thought it was honestly, it gave me hot sweats watching it. I was like, yeah, go on, and I was like, oh, this is the best bit. Oh no, this is the best bit. You know, like there's so many good bits of that film. I love that film.
It's crazy how that movie became such a legacy. Glenn, you called you said that, what is the show called back there? Dragon's Net, where they lend money to people?
What's that?
What's your show called back there in England where they lend money to people? You called
Dragon's Den.
Dragon's Den. Out here it's called the Shark Tank.
No, you've got Dragon's Den in the USA, I think.
No, we got something called Shark Tank.
Well, we have a bunch. There's a bunch of spin-offs.
Oh, is there?
There's a chance.
Oh, Glenn, I wanted to ask you about your Brexit.
Oh yeah, it is called Shark Tank. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Well, how's Brexit going back there? I was watching today with all the the protests going on in London. I thought that was funny. It's like, oh man, now it's getting down to the nitties. You think that Johnson's you guys out, or are you guys
so?
Forced in?
Yeah, they he's basically said that
he said he's going no deal. He's going hardcore.
Yeah,
right?
so yeah, essentially he wants a no. He's saying that he wants to negotiate a deal right at the last minute, but really that's just code for, look, I'm just going to go for no deal. He's saying we're leaving one way or the other, deal or no deal.
If he goes no deal, he can be arrested for that because that's breaking law. Correct?
Well, no, they're trying to pass a law in Parliament to say that he cannot go, cannot pass. No, he can't have a no deal. But that law, apparently, once Parliament agree, it goes to then like the higher grade, which is called Lords. So the Lords then approve on it. The Lords pushed it forward because normally these laws and bills take months and months. But what they done was they pushed it forward so that it could be negotiated and talked about back into Parliament. Then Parliament give it to Boris Johnson, and then he has to go and give it to like the Queen or like the Queen's Department for then it to become law. And what he's saying is he might receive it and not pass it on.
I thought our system was completely fucking stupid. Your guys' system is just like, I can't even explain how dumb it is. Like, I've never seen anything so stupid before. I was like, oh my God. So I was like, Jesus, all the shit, the money that's wasted by being in the EU, I see why this guy wants to get out now. I'm like, okay, and all these countries are talking shit like, oh, the Brits are stupid, blah, 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 we need them out, and blah. It's like, dude, the European Union is the biggest crock of shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, how is it that you got to go from the prime ministers to the European Union, and then it goes over up into Brussels, and then they go from one building to another, then back? It's like, it just seems like a whole crock of shit. Like the people don't even have any say in what goes on, because it's all dictated by a handful of parliament, or of people, I should say. It's like, it is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I was like, holy shit, it's amazing you guys can even get anything done over there.
Well, actually, normally, the way that our system works is obviously there's first across the line. So you have obviously in the Parliament. Let's just say I don't know the full ins and outs, but let's say you've got 900 seats.
Yeah.
Whoever has the majority. So if one party has 451 seats, they have the majority. So if they all say, right, we want to pass this bill, then normally you have a counterparty. So you have Labour and Conservatives. If one says the sky is blue, the other one will say it's purple. And they will debate that, yeah. And then whoever has the majority, that's the one that typically goes forward. So actually, we do pass bills and laws normally quite easily as long as you've got a majority government. If there isn't, then you have a what do they call it? Cohesion, where another party will team up with Conservatives. So like at the moment, you've got Conservatives and you've got the Scottish Party, the Irish government, something like that. They join together, and they now have, between the two of them, a majority. So then again, they can pass laws. But what happened with this Brexit is that you had some Conservatives who's in power at the moment, have been for years. Some have come out and said, I don't think we should do a deal. I think we should have no deal. But then there are others that say, no, we should have a deal. There are others who saying, actually, we shouldn't have a deal or no deal. We should have a referendum to let the public decide. Some of them are saying, no, that's undemocratic because we've already had one of those and people already made their decision. And people say, yeah, but they didn't know we were going into a deal or no deal. So now you've got like, as well as the other side who are always going to argue with whatever you say, you've got your own people, you know, bickering with you. And the other day when they had this vote about whether Boris Johnson should be allowed to have a no deal, he had his own party, so part of his majority, voting against him, and he sacked all of them that night.
Yeah.
I think he had 21 of them or something, 27 of them. He sacked them. Now, so when you say, "Oh, I'm surprised you can't pass them,"
gentlemen to my left, I love how they talk.
Yeah, the right honourable gentleman, they say, didn't they, and shit like that.
Yeah, it cracks me up. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, it's a really dated system, and what really annoys me is you see these people in obviously TV interviews, really clever, very meticulous the way they think, and you get these people who go up and put a microphone in their face and say, "How are you going to vote towards this?" And they stand there and they go, "Oh, well, it all depends on what the constituents want in this. You know, I'm here to say that I want this, this, and this." And they talk really posh and proper. 5 minutes later, you see them in this fucking parliament and they're going, God, yeah, fucking. And I'm like, what the hell is this? This is like, if my kids were bickering like that in the bedroom, I'd go and slap them all around the top of the head.
Yeah. Look, I posted this video.
And then they come out of that room, they all go like, oh, the eyes to the left is 420 and the eyes to the right are this, this and this. And they all go, and they all start stomping their feet and all that. And then they come out and they go back to the interview and go, oh, I think that went rather well. I mean, and they start talking proper again.
It just cracked me up because like even the woman was in there and she was like, now Boris, you tell us yes or no. All I want is a yes or no. And then she's like, did you ring the press on the telly and tell them before? Did you ring them the press on the telly? And I was like, who the hell talks like this? I mean, it just had me dying. I was like, oh my God, it is comedy hour, man, the way that things go on in there. And it's like, this kind gentleman to my left, good day, sir. And it was like, you know, he's insulting the guy, but saying this gentleman to my left.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was completely crazy. I was like, man, this is like I'm watching a madhouse. Glenn,
yeah,
check this video out.
To be honest though, I have to say, and I don't actually get too much into political conversations, but I actually follow politics quite a lot. And I have to say, whether you agree with his final motive, so whether he wants a deal or no deal, the guy is trying his best to just get it done. And the actual people of Britain, there's a lot of people that really strongly want to remain, and there's a lot of people that want to leave. But I think if you ask any British person, what do you want to see happen, and they just say, I just want it over. I just want it done. I don't care if it was all in the press, right, we're remaining. Yeah, there'd be about, a few thousand people that will protest, but the majority, there's the other 60 million of us that live here, we'd be like, yes, it's fucking, at least it's done, at least we know where we stand. At the moment, no one knows where they stand, and obviously it's creating a lot of uncertainty. I personally, if I had to choose one way or the other, I would rather that we left with no deal. That's just my personal take on it. But again, I'd rather it just done. If it came out saying we're remaining, I'm not going to fucking protest about it. I wouldn't lose any sleep over it, And I think that's how majority of the British people feel. And that Boris Johnson, he's playing on that because he's like, okay, right, well, if I haven't got a majority in government, I can't, like you said, PJ, I can't pass laws, I can't pass bills, so there's no point in me being here. So why don't we have a general election and we all vote for a new government? And his play and his take on it is, He released a video on social media the other day. I think he's going down the Trump route of like not tweeting but Facebooking and that.
Yeah.
And he was saying, look, you voted for leaving the EU. These people want to try and stop me achieving that. If you want to vote for them, then go for it. But if you want me to stay in power and continue what you voted for, then vote for me, sort of thing. And he's got a point. You know, we voted to leave. Whether that's deal, no deal, whether it's next month, in 3 months, we voted to leave. Let's just get it done. Let's just finish it and just, you know. That's my take on it anyway. But yeah, I can see how the Americans are watching it, thinking, "What the fuck is going on?"
Well, it's like I posted a video in the Discord of this kid. He's explaining how Parliament works from why they want to get out of the EU, and he's given like insight on how it all works.
For the last 2 years, you've heard people saying that they're tired of being ruled by Brussels. Well, this is Brussels. This is Brussels. This is Brussels. This.
Sorry.
I said, you're playing the video now. I can hear it coming through the speakers there.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is that noise? But so he explains on how it all goes down and how everything gets sent forward and how the politics work back there. That's why I said, oh my God, it's a mess. From what he's explaining, I was like, man, that just seems like such a waste of money. And I could see why Britain wants to get out. It's like, dude, there must just be so much money that's consumed dealing with this system, alone. Because it's like there's like 3 buildings that's got to go through. And I was like, man, this has just got to be a huge waste of money on Britain, just to be involved with it.
The thing is, as well, is that, with like, you saying
Max Kaiser. I started watching Max Kaiser, and he's not a fan of England whatsoever. That one you've been talking about on.
I don't think he's a fan of anything. He seems.
Because he just backs with England completely. Like, oh yeah, now France is getting a little revenge.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny, all the shit he's posted on Twitter about this whole Brexit thing.
I tell you what, though, he's been talking about Bitcoin for years and years. He was promoting it like way back in the day, and
one of the first people I ever heard it from, like back in 2010.
Yeah.
Glenn, him and that I see. Glenn, did you go through my playlist on YouTube?
No.
Did you ever watch Adam Kokesh? You know who that is?
Who?
He was in the military. Adam Kokesh. He was on RT. I forget what it's called.
I seen Glenn started watching everybody now, like the Dollar Vigilante.
I've been watching them for a while, actually. I've got up here now, actually.
He's a scam. He's kind of like he's just got this buy my shit type of.
Who? Jeff Berwick?
Yeah.
I like him. I think he's a stand-up dude. He's got a lot of buy my shit. He's just a capitalist. I like the fact that he's like, hey, buy my shit. But at the same time, he does kick a lot of good knowledge about things, and he's kind of funny.
I tell you what, though, these type of people, the Dollar Vigilante and that Max Kaiser, they're very, very. I like watching them, but they're very, very end of the world type stuff. Like it's all like, this monetary system's going to collapse next month. And I actually went back and I tried to watch one of their earliest videos. So I went back to the Kaiser report from about, because I thought, they talk very proudly that, you watch their videos and go, we were talking about Bitcoin over 8 years ago. We told you to invest, but you didn't listen, did you? And I thought, I wonder if they did. So then I went back and watched their videos from 2010, 2011. And they did sort of mention about Bitcoin. Oh, this is a new monetary system. And he was talking about how, everything's going to crash. And he said, everything's going to crash as early as next month. This was in 2010. And since then, we've had the longest period of growth ever. So I think you have to take what they say with a pinch of salt. I think they do drop some knowledge.
It did grow, though.
Statistically speaking, though, every currency collapses within 120 years. I mean, there's not a currency on Earth that's lasted over 120 years. You know what I mean? So statistically speaking, eventually the dollar's going to collapse. There's no question about that. You know what I mean? So you could scream that every single day, and eventually it's going to happen.
It's going to happen, and that brings me on to another YouTuber. This guy, I think Tech Cash House. I used to really like his videos, right?
No, man, I can't stand this guy.
Oh, mate, right? I used to really like his videos because the first videos he ever used to do were, how much money you can make using Antminer S9, and that's what got me into obviously mining. And I just think, God, this guy's really knowledgeable, and he got me onto obviously the fucking mining comparison sites and all that shit. Now he just seems to post videos about how Bitcoin's going to be $1 million tomorrow.
God, yeah, I know.
With these fucking massive thumbnails. Buy one Bitcoin by September. McAfee's Bitcoin philosophy.
You know who is good YouTuber, but you might not like him because he's a bit arrogant, but he's good to watch. Is let me pull up here. He's got this. He's a little guy, like a channel, pretty decent, and he tells it straightforward. His name is Mr. Christoph. It's spelled Kristof, and he doesn't really go into too much, but he tells it like it. It's like, hey, look, here's how mass adoption's gonna take. This is what we need to do. You might not like it.
How often does one get ready?
Yeah.
He's got a good channel.
All right, I'll subscribe to him.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's he's real straightforward. Chico Crypto is. That's I like watching this guy because of that. That's why I started watching that Chico Crypto, was because of the whole. He's just real straightforward. You know what I mean? And he tells it as it is, like you always say. So I like that part of it. I'm just sick of watching everybody who's like, oh yeah, Bitcoin's going to 11,000, 12,000, 30,000, 100,000. I'm a bull, you know that. And it's like, do I believe Bitcoin's going up? Yeah. But I'm just sick of these price predictions in the coin market cap. It's like
that brings me to
regurgitates the same thing. Once something comes out, you're going to see it on 100 YouTubers, or everybody on Twitter is going to put the same thing out. It's like, boy, if any news comes out that day, you just run through a Twitter feed and it's going to just see the same shit, repeated by everybody. So it's like.
But then I suppose that's only happening because you're watching loads of different YouTubers.
Yeah, it's
pretty much on the same subject, isn't it? It's like me following a load of property investment YouTube or gadgets, tech reviews. They're all going to be talking about the iPhone on Tuesday when that gets announced.
Exactly.
So self-inflicted first world problems there.
There's still people who come out with unique content. You don't have to regurgitate what else is coming out with. You can still create unique content. You know what I mean? I don't have a YouTube channel, but if I did, I'd focus on, trying to stray off the beaten path. Try to do something different from everybody else. Instead of sitting there just doing the same stuff.
Yeah, I used to, when I created a channel, like obviously 2 years ago, the first thing we always used to talk about was the price. Always used to go, right, let's load up the charts, and I used to go into, Bitcoin's gone to 6,000 today and Bitcoin's gone to 7,000. But yeah, I just don't find them interesting anymore. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to talk about it. It's become
because you kind of, when you have like 3 or 4 people and you have a nice audience, I think it's the most entertaining, and you don't necessarily have to watch it. You can just listen to it. And you bring out different aspects of different conversations. It's not just one topic. It always strays, and you get different types of people relating to the subject. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a better conversation with it.
Yeah. No. I have sort of. I actually have only a few set people. If I'm being completely honest, when I go to YouTube, and you can tell because these subscriptions up the top here, they put them in order of when you recently last watched their videos. So you can see the top ones that I watch. Obviously, I've just clicked on Mr. Christoph, so I've never seen one of these videos. But RT, that's that Max Kaiser report. Chico Crypto, I've been watching these videos every day for the last couple of weeks. The Kaiser report, Dollar Vigilante, Crypto Trader, Tone Vase, Crypto Daily, Unbox Therapy, just because I watched some EarPod videos recently. Valuetainment, Vincent Beratori. I clicked on his one because I was researching about this guy here. He talks a lot about lending platforms in crypto, and he's got that MCO card, and he done like a little review of it, and he seems to be shilling it a little bit, like with codes, join up codes and stuff. But he seems like a legit guy. His name's Vincent Breatori. Hope I said that right. And that's about it, to be honest. I would say down to Crypto Daily. So Crypto Daily, Tone Vase, Crypto Trader, and Dollar Vigilante. They're like my regular go-to. And now that Chico Crypto. The rest, I don't watch any of their videos.
Is that all you watch on YouTube? Is crypto stuff?
No. This when I created Bitglen, I created a YouTube channel, Twitter, Facebook, and on those platforms, obviously Telegram as well, but on those platforms I only follow crypto stuff. And if I ever, sometimes the world of crypto can not get you down, but you sort of like, right, I've sort of had enough of this space. I've heard the same, like you said, I've heard the same conversation many times now. I want to watch something different. I actually switched my YouTube channel to another channel that I created that I don't post any videos, but I just follow. I really actually like tech and gadgets, and I just watch loads of gadget reviews.
Like a secret star. On another channel.
Yeah, I actually have 3 YouTube channels. And I started off doing family videos and just me and it was just for me and the kids. My kids actually got me into YouTube. My son, he said to me, "Dad, I want to be a YouTube person." And I said, "All right." I said, "Mate, whatever you want to go for in life, I help you out. What do you need?" He said, "I need you to start filming me." And what would happen was, every time I put the camera in front of him, he'd freeze. He'd go, hello, my name's Tyler. And I said, no, I was like, if you watch the YouTubers, I said, they're really loud, they talk quite fast, and I said, they just say silly things for a kids channel. So then he just couldn't do it. So then and then it got me thinking. He said, "Dad, why don't you do it?" I said, what am I going to do it about? And I started doing videos. My first video is with me and my son, and I said, "Hello, this is my son Tyler." And that's on another channel that I have. And I just done loads of family videos, us going out for days out. And then I started getting people contacting me about, "Oh, do you want to bring your kids here?" and that. And I never really pursued it. I should have probably done. And then I started doing weight loss videos because I was trying to lose weight at the time. And then I just got bored, and I thought, all right, what am I actually interested in? And I thought, right, I'm really into tech and gadgets. And I was looking into Bitcoin anyway, and I started watching Bitcoin videos, and I started reading news articles about Bitcoin, and I started following it when it was about $4,000, and then it quite rapidly went to 5, 6, and then that's when I was like, oh, I should create a YouTube channel about Bitcoin. And I didn't know that obviously Bitcoin was good. I didn't know it was going to go to 20,000. I didn't know it was going to explode. I didn't know it was going to be popular. I didn't know it was going to have this mass following. I just did it because I was interested in it, and I started talking to my wife, "Babe, look at this Bitcoin thing." And she was like, "Glenn, I don't want to hear about no Bitcoin." Yeah, she was like, what? Why are you telling me? I don't give a fuck. And then I'd talk to my friends. I'd say to my friend Dan, look, this Bitcoin thing's gone from 4,000 to 5,000. They're saying it could take over the world. And like, he was like, "Yeah, all right, Glenn, whatever, mate." So I thought, oh, do you know what? I'll create a YouTube channel, and I'll talk about Bitcoin. And that was it. That was I never knew it was going to take off. I didn't know if I was going to get a following. I didn't know if, and I noticed all the YouTubers at the time were talking about BitConnect, and I thought, this seems like a scam. I don't want to be involved in it. And I just wanted to accumulate as much Bitcoin as I could. So that's how I started.
It's kind of funny though. I was just, when you were talking about your kid, like when we were little, we wanted to be like movie stars. Now, like kids want to be YouTube stars. It's kind of the same thing on DJ was talking about, where it's like we have these micro studios, like you can like be a micro producer. Even just today I bought this thing called a Korg Voca bass. It's like a mini bass synthesizer, and it's a tough word for me to say something. But,
Yeah, it's a big word.
It's tiny, and like I could get there's another, like I could get a couple little tiny things, and like I could probably in a backpack walk on the street and get this little speaker and just like set up and like make house music, techno music or something right on the side of the street, you know, like, and it'd be like studio quality, or hear it at home even, you know what I'm saying? So it's like all the big companies are being threatened by the fact that consumers are able to do things themselves, even like improve the shitty stuff that they give us. Like for instance, like I quit smoking and I vape, and these vapes they shit the bed real easy. So instead of buying them, I'm like taking them apart and resoldering and making it better so that I don't have to buy them again. I know most people wouldn't do that, but on certain levels they will. You know what I mean? So it's like people will find a way to save.
Yeah, I think you're onto something with the, you know, like obviously YouTube started it where you could, you know, create a video and post it online, which was all great for watching funny videos and like rude or offensive, you know, funny that would make you laugh. But then actually, YouTube killed it when they actually said, you know what, we're going to start sharing the revenue with content creators. So that made people go, what? So if I keep uploading every day, what, you'll give me a bit of money? And that killed it. That's what made YouTube so successful. Not a lot of other video platforms were doing that. Video platforms were saying, hey, look, you're funny, your video's funny. If you sell us the rights to your video, we'll give you $200. But you know, but now YouTube obviously killed it by saying, look, actually, you know, if you create content for our platform, we'll share the money we earn with you, which is a fairer system. Obviously, it's not that fair now, but yeah, you're right. You know, and when you're saying about people creating other content, music, food, you know, recipes and stuff like that, it's so easy to share now. You look at Pinterest, people, my mother-in-law, she'll make a dragon out of some fucking eggshell things and then post it on Pinterest, and she'll get loads of shares and likes. There's just a lot more way for people to express themselves these days, and the only way really, because the internet has freed us of that, like has opened it up. Like I said, I'm interested in Bitcoin. None of my close friends or family are. Someone years ago might have thought, you know what, I fucking love cats. Like I really love cats, but all my friends think I'm a crazy cat lady. But if you take pictures and videos and put them on a website, there's millions of people all over the world that will share that interest with you. And I think the internet's done that. The only thing now is that Bitcoin, bringing it back to cryptocurrency, Bitcoin is letting us express how we do finance. You know, if I want to give Travis some money and he'll pay me back with a bit of interest, now things like that are starting to develop, you know, and I think that's going to give everyone the freedom to go, yeah, do you know what, I don't mind lending you 1,000 thing in this, because it'll be secured in this platform here, you pay me this much interest back in that, and instead of the banks getting that money, I'm getting it, you know, and I think it'll be a fairer society.
The lending, excuse me, is do I sound all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, through the lending, but also, you know, when YouTube came along, and even Pinterest?
Yeah.
What you're doing is creating a value in a sense, like, which is a like, which means nothing really to me, liking it. But it's valuable to the person that wants it. You know what I'm saying? And that's like an indicator of how good you're doing. You know, like that's like a market indicator. So
Yeah.
like you're kind of creating a value right there.
You're
And I think
creating
that will,
something that other people appreciate.
yeah. So I think that will be a currency of the future. That and also once people realize that computers can do all the running of everything for us, we don't need to
Well, in the world of
hire a person.
cryptocurrency, you're right. There have been obviously social media platforms that have come out and basically said for every time you get a like or a share, you actually unlock tokens, which you then can stake or cash in against Bitcoin and stuff like that. So, I mean, I see
Right now,
this.
everything right now is based on like a U.S. dollar, like
Yeah,
end result, and I think that'll eventually fade away, and then and it's kind of hard to think of that, but
yeah. Imagine everything being pegged to Bitcoin.
maybe
So,
it
like,
could
if you have,
be.
say, this USDT or whatever, or you have, like, me and PJ were talking about this Pax Gold. Imagine if someone said, "Oh, okay, this token is pegged against 0.01 of a Bitcoin. So, you know, for every one of our token you hold, that's the same as holding a Bitcoin. But you can put it into this platform, and you can own some gold, or you can use it for this exchange, or you can use it to loan money out." No
It
one's
could
really.
be. It might be more like the United States holds so much Bitcoin, just like it used to hold gold, and every other country holds Bitcoin. And then what they can do is take another cryptocurrency and pay everybody a UBI every. It's a constantly generating UBI, so it just constantly builds, and you take that and you spend it, and your choice is the value, and also you vote on issues that are, you don't have a government, you have a blockchain type government where everybody, and this is, you get paid, this is part of your job, if you want to say that you have a job, and but you can also collect this from other people, so you can create things and say, hey, I want to sell this, and people can pay you because they're slowly generating. So you can get more than other people. So there's an incentive to do better, or so you're not sitting around doing nothing. But if you do nothing, you're going to be in the bare minimum. But this is when things are real cheap and easy to do. And also, you won't have politics that are being, you vote for someone where you're voting for the least worst person. You're actually voting on the issues.
The least
You vote,
worst person. That's
yeah, I
it's
mean
a
that's what
crime,
it is
really,
every
when you
time. It's
start
like, well, I
voting like that, isn't
definitely don't want him. I definitely don't want him. And I mean, it's like, oh, we got you. You know, it's like, it's stupid. It's not every single time the person that you really want. It's just they don't. We're seeing it now because we have the internet, but this has been happening the whole time.
it? Yeah.
We realize that like they've been shadowing the people that actually represent like the people.
So you think
Everyone else
eventually there'll be
has,
a government, a blockchain-run government?
yeah. I think that would be the best idea because then, let's say like there's an issue with something, someone posted on a government page. It's like Facebook, and the more votes it gets, the higher it ranks. So obviously, it's very important. So the higher it ranks, it gets to prioritize to the top. So and the issue gets solved immediately, and then you immediately send the funds that you need or whatever is needed to that area or whatever. You know, like we got fires here. What do we do? You know, we'll send, we'll, you know, everyone will vote. Well, we need to send this, and you know, like there might be different types of credit systems where you get that generative coin every or cryptocurrency just generating, but you also get like other coins for rewards. You know, like let's say you want to learn how you want to learn CPR on the side. You get a token for that. You know what I'm saying? And these tokens, they give you value as a person, like sustainable value, not something that you can just spend. You can't give away. These are knowledge-based tokens, things that you earn by acquiring knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Travis, we're here, and you're like, you're thinking up.
Well, it's not too far off, and we got to figure
don't
out
think?
how this is going to happen. Because if it doesn't, what's going to happen is these corporations are going to create private cities with guards and walls, and they're going to have robots doing all their work, and then keeping us maintained out in the woods or whatever, like Hunger Games, pretty much.
Jesus.
I mean, they're already starting to like build these private cities. And
I was watching this video about how capitalism is the only way that civilizations have continuously built on top of each other and actually succeeded in a fairer way. And they were saying, you know, we've tried it. We've tried all these different systems, and that is the only one that regularly comes out on top, where civilization of people actually improve performance and quantity and quality and stuff like that. So I can imagine using the blockchain to help capitalism. So we still will have corporates and we will still have big companies. But I just think that in the future, if blockchain is implemented in the right way, they will be fairer. So you will still have the big McDonald's of the world and the big pharmaceutical companies and all these things. But instead of the little person who works this 45, 50 hours a week on the fucking workshop floor getting nothing, and the big boss who is on holiday most of the year getting 95% of the money of the pharmaceutical companies, I think blockchain will make it so that you actually will feel proud of working for that company, because you'll be like, yeah, do you know what, I have a share scheme where I get these tokens, I can convert the tokens into Bitcoin whenever I want, or into whatever currency it is they're using, and they will feel proud of their work. Because, you know, there's a company, I don't know if you guys have ever heard, but there's a company in England called John Lewis. No, it's a department store, a bit like I think in America you might call it Macy's or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Like a department store, yeah. So you walk in, they've got all the perfume bits and makeup and that, and then you go in, there's clothes and there's all this other homeware and all that. And yeah, and this John Lewis, they were sort of one of the leaders in terms of profit share. So what they do is every year, every single employee gets a profit share of the company. And what they do is they make a big thing of it. So they have someone hold up a big check and they put a cover over it, and then they lift it off and unveil it. And it might say like £3,500 or something like that, or dollars. And what that means is that month, every single employee in the whole company, which is nationwide, they all get in their pay, on top of what they've earned that month, they get that 3,500 on top. I can imagine a system like that
That's like
happening.
a socialist, capitalist type, where everybody, and I can see that it'd be that would be a sort of a capitalist grab struggle to hold on, and it would be like these subscriptions where I think Apple was trying to make like the Apple House and the Apple Car. So, and you'll just become like this Apple person. You're like the Apple.
Travis, Apple's all the liberal system, social.
Yeah.
Where you got to be completely into their system and pay into it. So it's like what you're saying.
I'm in.
It's already
I'm in that system. I'm not leaving. I'm happy in that Apple system. I'm in, baby.
Yeah, but they got you trapped like a rat, because you can't transport your movies, you can't transport your songs, you can't do shit. You know what I mean? If you don't pay them, let's just say
you're gonna be in the Apple House
for your monthly storage, and you don't pay that 99 cents, you can't listen to your music, you can't watch your video. Apple's shit. And then you get these crappy ass phones and these horrible computers That's all the same product, but yet they just keep increasing the price, and now there's subscription to everybody. It's a Nazi party now.
There won't be much
They
left.
make
They
good
won't
products,
too
but they're
many.
complete dog shit on their ecosystem part of it because they're locking you in. You know, it's like a socialist government over there at Apple. It's crazy.
I don't agree with. I will say that Apple are. I don't know how to word this in such a way. I love Apple products, so let's just get that out there. I love Apple products, and I love the way they work, the way they connect, and the services they provide. But I don't agree with them charging £3,000 for essentially an £800 machine.
Listen, this is how dumb people are. So, 2 years ago, Apple gave you free news, free everything, blah blah blah.
Yeah, now they're starting to subscribe it.
Now everything's subscription. And
Hey!
yeah, it is crazy.
Take my money. Take my money.
Yeah, it's crazy because you're still going to support them, even though they inflated their whole system, cost you hell to enjoy those products now. When you're getting a crummier product or more dollar value, but you're getting less product, and now you got to pay more for subscriptions and all this other stuff. You know, it's crazy to me.
Well, no, the news app, I think, is still free, but if you subscribe, you get other features added or something, can it?
No, you gotta pay for the news now.
Have you?
So it's crazy to me that you gotta pay for the news, get a news subscription, and then now they're gonna roll into where like, oh, you're paying for storage fees. You know, it's just they constantly nickeling and diming you, and now they want to lock you into credit card terms too.
Give me that
like,
credit card, baby.
Oh my god, that's insane to me. Like, who would use that? You know what I'm saying?
It's quite apparently all the YouTubers that are talking about it, because I was watching loads of videos about that Apple credit card, and they were saying even this guy was like, my credit rating's perfect and I've got loads of 0% APR credit cards, and he said when I applied for the Apple one, they said that the APR I approved for was like 25 or 26% APR, and he was like, this is ridiculous, you know, like this is the highest APR credit card that I now own.
Yeah, but look at how they're cornering the market. Yeah, that's monopoly. This is what's insane to me. I can't believe this up yet. So they're locking you in, and then what they're doing is they're getting you fixated on their products, and then from that, what they're doing is going, okay, well, if you buy our products within the store, we're going to give you more points, like 3 times the points to buy our products within the store, and then support their system even more. So they're cornering the market completely on it, and then they're entrapping people, you know, and giving out these Apple credit cards now and going, okay, well, we'll give you time to pay this off. They're creating more debt on these products that people can't even afford, because if you look at the consumer who's buying these products, most of the consumers can't even afford the product. Like, Bitglen cannot afford the Apple ecosystem, but yet he's still paying for it, which is insane to me, because you're going to go out and go spend $2,000 on a computer, $1,500, and then you're going to get the credit card and get 0% interest on Apple products, plus these little bit of points back. So it's like, it's all entrapment, you know what I mean? And then you're going to pay for these Apple subscriptions, then you're going to buy into the Apple movies. Really, it needs to be broken up, like, completely, because Apple is just like Satan's playground, you know. And
I don't know. I don't agree with you there, because you can, if you can have, you know, you can have an iPhone and you can have.
100% factual. You look at Apple's customers and who they are. They're people who can't even afford the products, but yet they're taking credit lines to go out and buy them. You know, and it's insane to me that this is going on, and that they're making these entrapments, and they're making it to where it's not a free market or an open market, you know. And it's like, even with their app store, you look at how much of a goddamn scam the whole app store is, and the way that they're regulating. You cannot be a competitor on apps if all that you have is apps from App Store, Google's
That's
App
centralized.
Store. Yeah, it's completely centralized. It's
Oh yeah,
horseshit.
definitely. Yeah,
It
it's
is.
definitely. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Apple is a complete bullshit. Like, they should not have as much control as what they do, because they're completely cornering the market.
But you do have. you do have certain choices, like you can use
You don't
Spotify
have any choices whatsoever.
versus
When it comes
using their music.
Huh? Oh yeah, you got
You-
Spotify, but
you
check
can-
it out. At the end of the day, if Apple decides to start going after people, they can start taking away all this power. Like you see them collapsing shit left and right, and then it's like, okay, well, what if they ban Spotify off of their app store?
Did you get 6
Think
months?
about that, huh?
I got 6 months of Tidal. Have you ever heard of that one? It's a new
What
one.
is it called?
Tidal. I guess like the idea is that streaming is really fucked up the music industry, and Tidal
it is
gives more
completely
people, and it's also fucked up the quality
Apple
that
is
people.
the music industry.
I just want to make
Well,
a
it's also
mention in
fucked
the
up the
live
quality.
chat, guys. Adam Pretty's commented saying, "Will you ever be doing mining videos again, Bitglen?" Just a quick response to that, if he's still with us. No. I reckon. I think I'll do videos if a news article comes out about mining that I find interesting, or if I want to bring it up. Will I personally be going out and buying a machine that mines? No, I feel that there's cleverer ways to use your money in the world of cryptocurrency now, as opposed to chasing your tail with mining. I think I was talking to my brother-in-law. I don't know if you guys remember this story of my brother-in-law. He works at a college, and he's in charge of their IT systems now, and he has a server room and server cabinets and stuff like that are empty, and no one keeps an eye on the electricity costs. So he bought a mining machine. I can't remember what one it was. I think it was like an Antminer S8 or something, and he left it mining in there. And I said to him, like, "Are you still mining with that? Because it costs him nothing to run, nothing." And he was like, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, I've got about." He said, "Oh, it was worth $1,000, and now it's gone down to 500 or something." I can't. This was ages ago. And I asked him. He came around for a barbecue the other day. I said, "Is that machine still mining?" He goes, "Yeah, I'll just leave it running." Now, eventually, that's going to see him really well, because if Bitcoin goes on to a massive bull run that I think it will, that $1,000 worth of Bitcoin will be $10,000, and he would have gained that for free. So yeah, I think there is still opportunities to make money mining, but it just takes up such a large amount of money at the beginning, and also you're always chasing your tail, that I don't think it's viable for the average person.
I think being a mining rig company is where the money's at.
Producing chips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said this. I said in my videos, I said the people that are killing it are not people that are owning loads of Bitmain S9s. It's the people making the fucking S9s. They're the people who are killing it, because they're winning either way. Either their machines are fucking super profitable and they mine themselves, and if they start to dip in performance, they fucking sell them at a premium.
It's the people the people that are really killing it though, are the people who are buying them up when they first come out and then selling them over here for double the price.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my cousin.
That's the way to do it.
That's when I was talking about the Bitglen shop, because I was like, just sell the fucking machines. Don't mine with them. Just fucking sell them.
Yeah. Hold them for 3 weeks. Mine with them.
People that can mine with them at a profit, like.
Yeah. Mine with them and then sell them for double the price.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's the answer to that question, Adam. I'm sorry if that turns people off and they're like, "Oh, he's not doing mining no more. Fuck this channel."
You just lost a subscriber.
Yeah, sorry. Have you guys seen like I think Voscoin? He actually did you guys used to follow Voscoin? No, he was a crypto mining channel, and he set up like a mining shed, a bit like me, but he was ahead of my time, and he put all his money into it, bought all these miners, and he's sold them all now, and he's actually sold the whole shed. So I don't even know what his videos are going to be about anymore. Oh look, here we go. How to build a crypto GPU mining rig.
Did you see this video I posted? Hamilton.
You're cutting out loads there. What was that? You posted a video. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still.
Oh.
Awesome.
PJ's
Listen,
got daddy
did you
issues.
Did you watch this Hamilton versus
Hamilton versus.
Hamilton versus Satoshi?
Oh, what, the epic rap battle thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was awesome.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. People discussing Bitcoin in a mainstream way. You know, I've been watching those guys for years. I actually buy a couple of their albums. So I've been listening to them for a while. So for them to do a video about Bitcoin and that versus the fiat system, I thought it was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was great, man. I says, "Oh God, this is fantastic!" And then like Charlie Lee's in it. You had Adam Mack in it.
Yes,
All sorts of people in it. I says, "Man, this is great." They got like every single cryptocurrency person in there too. You know, so I thought that was pretty awesome.
They sent me an invite, but it got lost in translation or in the post, I think.
Lost in the post.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I think I'm going to have to call it a night. It's 12:10 in the UK, so and I've got Formula One to watch, which is going to take me probably half hour to watch. So I'm going to do that. That's 1 a.m. So thank you for joining in, guys. Thanks for contributing and joining the chat with me. I really appreciate it. Otherwise, it would have just been me on my own talking for half hour. But so I appreciate that. So. Do you guys want to say anything before you leave?
Cheers. Take it easy.
Cool.
I could mix it up a little bit.
No, it's good to hear from you, man. I haven't heard from you for ages. Oh, just a quick before we go, actually, PJ, what happened with the hurricane and that?
I went to Atlanta for about a week, and it didn't even come to where we were at. It missed us, blew down some trees, and then went up towards. Actually, it went up towards Travis.
The next day, you know, when we discussed it last Sunday in the podcast last week, my wife came downstairs and she said to me, Glenn, have you heard they're shutting Disneyland? Cause,
they shut it down.
And I said, oh, why is that? What? Because of that hurricane? She goes, yeah, apparently there's a hurricane. I said, yeah, I know. I was chatting to one of the guys last night. Apparently, if it turns left, it could go into Georgia. And she was like, what? Why have you looked into this so much? I went, no, I didn't. One of the guys was talking about it last night in my podcast. She was like, when did you do a podcast? I went, oh, while you was in bed the other night. I said, he was telling me that his house might get blown away, but he's all insured, blah, blah, blah. And I was telling her all about it. And she was like, oh, I thought you just talk about Bitcoin. I was like, nah, we talk about hurricanes and shit.
Yeah, no, we missed it. It actually destroyed did some pretty good damage up north from us. So we're in a pocket in Savannah, and it missed us, but then it went to the South Carolina, North Carolina front up there more so than anything. So we got lucky.
No, that's cool,
Destroyed
mate.
the Bahamas, though. I mean, completely wiped the Bahamas.
Yeah, apparently it stayed there for like 24 hours in one spot.
God, it stayed there for like 2 days.
Did it?
Straight. Oh
Jeez,
my God, yeah.
Louise.
Wiped out a huge portion of the Bahamas. Abercorn, I think is what it's called. And yeah, it devastated, man. I'm talking just.
I actually thought about it yesterday, and that's why I thought I'd bring it up, because we went to this thing called Colchester Invasion, and it's where like a load of people dress up as, sort of superheroes, Marvel, Ghostbusters. There was like an. Yeah, like a Comic-Con, but in the middle of a town centre, and they were just dotted about all over the place in different shops, and it's to help increase footfall into the town centres for people to spend money in retail shops, because obviously everything's online now. So I think it's really cool. We went in there, but we ended up going in shops and buying ice creams and cakes, and then we thought, oh, should we go and look in here, whatever. But anyway, while we were queuing up to meet Spider-Man, all of a sudden, it went from being sunny to absolutely bucking it down. Like, it was like someone just got a bucket of water and just poured it on top of me, right? And I said to my wife, oh, this will only last a couple of minutes. And she said, how'd you know? I said, well, because the intensity of the rain, if it didn't last a couple of minutes, if it went on longer, there'd be a lot of floods. And and then I was thinking, God, that hurricane, that was in like fucking the Bahamas for 24 hours. Imagine it just rained like this, but plus 100-mile-an-hour winds for 24 hours straight.
Yeah, exactly.
It's insane.
Well, we've been getting a lot of hurricanes out here lately, these past few years. So it's like, man, it's just devastating, because this is first they hit Turkey, they wiped out Turks and Caicos on the last one. Now this one, the Bahamas and had Puerto Rico wiped out. So these hurricanes over the past few years have just done a number in this whole region, and actually the last one, Michael, I think it was Michael or Matthew, I forget what the name was, but it wiped out a city in Florida called Panama. I mean, just devastated it, just destroyed the whole city, and these hurricanes are picking up in intensity and they're coming around a lot more, because there was like 6 hurricanes going all at the same time across the equator there between the Atlantic and the Pacific while this hurricane was coming through. And it's just been crazy these past few years down here. So you got to constantly watch and monitor. I don't think we've seen the end of it. I was watching some crazy stuff about like how the poles of the electromagnetic poles are starting to reverse, and they're supposed to reverse over the next like 200-300 years. So south will become north, north will go south, and in the process of it, our core of the Earth, it moves our magnetic poles, and they think that this is translated to why we could be having these quakes. So I thought that was interesting. The intensity is going to pick up, because you always hear about global warming. I'm only saying it's warming, and there's more to it than just the globe warming up. It's an actual lot of other shit going on. So it's like I think the intensity of these hurricanes are going to keep on with what they're doing.
More freak weather.
God, yes. I mean, because it's been statistically speaking, out here we get them about every 37 years like this, and we're right at that time point. But we were due for a major hurricane with this one. It's sad to see what happened in the Bahamas, but I mean, it just go check those pictures out down there. It's like it just wiped the Abacore and most of the big portion of the Bahamas out. And it's if anybody out here is listening and you want to make a donation, go and donate to some charity out there, because those people need help. It's
that's sad. A good shout. Yeah, I mean it's devastating.
Really, everything we have here, you look at your life, and I'm glad that I was able to leave, but when you're trapped on an island like that, it's just like, oh my God, I feel so bad for so many people down there. And it's like, donate if you can, because those people are devastated down there. You don't take what you have for granted, and then think about the others who are in need right now. So it's sad to see down there.
That's definitely a good thing to end on, I suppose. Not the hurricane, but obviously don't take things for granted, and help those when you're in a position to help. Good shout out. All right, mate. Well, we'll end it there. Thank you to everyone who's joined into the live chat, everyone in the Discord and in the Telegram group chat. Again, give this video a thumbs up before you finish watching this video, and also don't forget to click the subscribe button. And I thank for everyone who joins in, but also not just the people that join in. I actually thought about it the other day that my podcast last week was quite long. It was an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. And I actually thought, God, I wonder who's going to watch that. And I think it did get like 50, 60 views. And I thought, God, that's 50, 60 people that have sat there for it and listened to us chat for an hour and 45 minutes and not actually being able to be involved and take part. So thank you to anyone who's watching this after this live chat has been recorded. So I appreciate you being here as well. So that's it from me, guys. I'll see you. I'll do another one of these next Sunday, as long as nothing drastic happens in my life. We'll do the Bitglen live podcast number 4 next Sunday around about 9:30, 10 p.m. And I'll do a video again in the week of whatever I learned throughout the week. So that's it from me, guys. Good night and God bless. Bye.
Was that you shutting down?